This week's progress in my game dev journey was honestly a disaster. It just felt like I was running into roadblocks no matter where I went. Maybe I was leaning on AI a bit too much, but to give you the background of what was happening this week, I had a bit more career challenges, in my day job. Obviously some family challenges. We were recovering from sickness. I really just felt like, man, this was a tough week to just sit down and grind and learn new things and kind of make this work. One thing I learned a while back, it's a great quote. The process is the shortcut. That means to me, you really have to go through the process to learn. You can't skip. Everybody wants to skip and they want to take shortcuts. And I've learned even testing AI these past few months or even the past year, if you will, AI is not a great shortcut, but it is a good bridge. A bridge you could say is a shortcut, but honestly, a bridge is just necessary at times. You have to bridge the gap of your learning. I mean, books are learning, right? Resources like your friends. Google is a bridge to helping you learn something. And so I just want to encourage you this week, if you're trying to learn something, if you're just running into roadblocks, if it feels like a disaster, I think that's honestly the moment where you're going to learn a lot and you just have to push through it. So I'm going to show you this week, the current status of the game that I've been trying to make. I'm going to walk you through what I learned, how I used some AI tools to kind of, massage the design into what it is now. And then we're just going to walk through some of these tools that I use, and we're going to try to make the design better live. I don't know how far we're going to get, but I really struggled to even start this video. And just like the advice I'm giving you now, you just have to start. You have to sit down. You have to go through the pain. And so I hope you'll just go through the pain with me here. I'm sure you're going through your own pain. So leave comments below on what you've learned and what you've gone through. Thanks to some of you who've already done that. Also, some of you are not subscribed. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to continue to provide these videos for you, these short tutorials, and just showing you the struggles and learnings so that hopefully you can avoid some of those struggles and learnings. Not so much that you don't learn, but so that you don't make the same mistakes and you can kind of use me as a bridge to get further. So let's get started. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'm going to get right into Unity here. You can see the current state hasn't changed much, at least as the UI you may have seen before, but let's just jump into the play button here. You'll kind of see some of the design choices that I made or had Claude help me with. So we've got a shooter. We now have enemies, they kind of cross lanes. Oh, and look at that. We've got drones appearing in front of us now. They kind of appear in this like V pattern, and then they shoot and they obviously annihilate all of the enemies. One of the ideas for this was that anytime the enemies would run into us, we would actually lose these drones. They would kind of act as a shield. Right now, that doesn't happen. I do take damage. You can see on the left-hand corner, I do take some damage. But the drones don't disappear. And that's something that I wanted to fix. But, before I even fixed that, I thought, is this game fun in its current state? Is this what I want? Do I want to just like kind of kill drones? I mean, I know this is kind of similar to that 4X style, just killing things coming down a lane and then killing things with power-ups and, I don't know. At the end of the day, I thought, not really. It's not really what I like. I need something more, and I need to take this to the next step. So I took some of the ideas that I have. I jumped into ChatGPT and I said, I'm going to start spelling out some ideas that I have. I kind of gave it a couple of long paragraphs of text. I have been using Whisper Flow for that, which is a cool voice to text AI agent. And then of course you can just do voice to text here in GPT and things like that. So I'll probably use that for this too. But yeah, I gave it the state of the game. I kind of said, hey, maybe I want to have a different game loop. And I just had it walk through some design ideas for me. Where was the game right now? Some suggestions I had are like, maybe something could be a better hook for this game. Instead of going from left to right, or instead of kind of just making this decision, maybe those drones don't just run into you. Maybe the enemies don't just run into you. Maybe they kind of stop, kind of like this mutalist look. If you've ever played StarCraft back in the day, when those mutalists come and attack you and they kind of bunch up in this circular kind of of area. And so I thought that would be cool. You know, maybe there's, you know, different kinds of lanes. Maybe there's power-ups that come by. So that's what I was exploring using ChatGPT. Here's the updated list that it gave me. So there's a core drone and shield system. So I still love the idea of having all of these drones. If you've seen the movie, what is it? Ender's Game, right? I love that series. But they have this scene where the drones are coming in and protecting the ship as they're about to attack the enemy planet. And I love that idea. Like the drones are kind of a shockwave or protection or something. So I like that idea. You know, there's a drone shield system that we can implement, drone attacking enemies more directly, maybe updating the player ship logic. And let's see, you know, banner carrier and power-ups. So maybe there's enemies that come through that have this banner, kind of like in those advertisements, and I can kill them, and I get the benefit once I kill that. Anyway, you know, improving the lanes, all those things. So I use GPT to help me design something new and interesting. Obviously, the new stuff is going to come from you, and GPT is just going to help you put it into a way that you can digest and put it into phases that you can hopefully feed into something like Claude Code. So that's what I did there. I got into that. And then if I go over here to Cursor, I've still been using Cursor, but I also have been using Claude Code. And if you haven't heard of Claude Code, I do have you know, this area here, which is like the quick start of the setup guide. Basically, you install Claude Code from Anthropic. You go into the project directory, and all you do is type in Claude to start Claude Code. Now, I think you do have to authenticate, you know, some of this here. You have to put your, you know, API key, or I think it opens up Anthropic for you in the web browser, so you can authenticate. And then from then on, you can initialize the project. You'll see if I go here into, this is Cursor. Let me expand this a little bit so we can read it. And this is top-down engine, so you can see here, this is a lot of the assets in here. But I have, let's see, I do have this gameplay phases. So I have a document in here that I'm guiding the AI with, you know, like here's my plan. And this came from GPT after I massaged it with GPT a little bit. And then if I go up a little bit further, somewhere in here, top-down engine docs, I don't think it's that one. Let me see if I can find it. I may not know exactly where it is. Gameplay assets, simple, drone, scenes, prefabs. I don't remember exactly where it was placed, but there is an instruction pack. Maybe it's in Claude settings. No. Anyhow, once you set up Claude, it'll show you here, you can initialize it. And then during the quick start guide, you can, let's see, there's a main file, what files have changed, show me the last 5 commits. This goes through everything. So I'd recommend reading some of this. Common workflows, see if we can find it. I don't see it in here, but essentially what I did is I gave Claude instructions, and some of the instructions you can even see kind of in this gameplay phases. And maybe it's in top-down and see if I can open this real quick. No, maybe we'll open this Claude. Even this isn't finding it. Anyway, you can give Claude some instructions. At the very base level, I gave him all of this, you know, top-down engine documents, or I'm sorry, the gameplay phases document. And what I'll do is I'll tell Claude right here in the terminal, I'm just going to open Claude. I'm going to say, Claude, it's going to open right up. Let's see, let's open this so I can read it a bit better. Configuration error, invalid JSON. Exit, reset with default configuration. Let's see what's going on, Claude. I'm still in top-down engine. Welcome to Claude. Okay. Let's see, failed to connect. Interesting. So something might have happened. I wonder if it's, let's just open a new terminal and see what happens. Claude. Okay, I don't know what happened with that, but dark mode is fine. Claude account. I guess it's gonna make us do this. This is interesting. I wonder, maybe we can go up here to one of these older ones. History restored. Let's see, I don't know. Phase 1 status. Interrupted by user. This might be the one where we left off before. Gameplay phases. Okay, so let's see if we can do Claude here. Yeah, dark mode. Claude account with subscription. I guess it's gonna make us log in. Authorize. This is fine. This is you know, you're kind of getting to see what you need to do first. Okay, so we've authorized it. Let's go back in here. Enter. Claude can make mistakes. Yes. Use recommended settings. Yes. Do you trust the files in this folder? Yes, it's the folder I chose. Okay. Let's do status. Let's just see, you know, what it has for our current setup. Mismatch run npm global. Enter. Oops. Said to run Doctor to see what's going on. So maybe I'll run migrate installer. I haven't had to do this before, so it's very interesting. I'm glad that you're getting able to see this. Is that sometimes things go wrong, right? Press enter or remove the global install name here. Enter. Okay, installed globally. Happy clouding. Okay, that's fine. So let's open up Claude again. Interesting. Happy clouding. Press restart your shell. Please restart your shell. Let's just open a new one. And we might as well just can all of these while we're at it. Claude. Okay, there we go. Now we're back at it. Fix the bug where theme selector. Let's do status and see where we're at. Error installing cursor extension. That's okay. I don't think I need that one. I'm logged in. And let's see. Okay, here is a file that goes through the phases I want to start looking at for my game. Also, I think there was part of this quick start guide. Maybe we should do that. You know, I like the idea of what does this project do? It's getting some kind of API connection error, which is weird. Okay, so now it's going to understand the project. This is great. If you noticed right there in the very beginning, it went through and found my markup document, gameplay phases, and it read it immediately. Now it's looking here. This is Unity space shooter called First Invasion. Great. Top-down space shooter with a cosmic theme. Player controls a starship protected by companion drones. Yes. Enemies swarm and surround the player in formation attacks. It doesn't do that yet, but I want it to, right? So it's great that it's kind of incorporating that. Resource management. Yes, this cosmic silicate idea. I love this idea of killing the enemies, using their silicate to upgrade your ships, to get drones, to get power-ups, to get new ships. Strategic gameplay inspired by Ender's Game. Yes. So okay, it looks like there's a lot of stuff down on here. It knows that I started using Unity's top-down engine, which is great. Using existing health damage systems and AI behaviors. So this is one thing that I wanted to highlight, because when I created this, you'll notice on the left-hand side in the hierarchy, it may be a little hard to see here, but I have these levels, and I have Drone Manager V2. Now, this was a significant problem that I ran into. It took me I feel like hours to solve this, but now that I know it, you know, I'm not going to make that same mistake in the future. And that's honestly, that's what I was talking about in the beginning, is like you will run into problems, into troubles. And because you spent so much time trying to solve that one thing, your brain will remember it, because that's what learning is, right? It's like trying not to make the same mistakes. So if I could help you in one thing here, what I did is I went into Cursor and I was talking to Claude Code, and you can give it commands and say, like, you know, obviously let's start with phase 1. If I scroll up here to these scripts, you know, this is kind of where a lot of the Unity scripts live. And I have Drone Companion 2. Actually, I'm sorry, Drone Manager V2. You'll see here that every time I spawned a drone, and you could spawn up to 12 of them in the code, we gave it a vector. We gave it a location. Say it spawn in, you know, and as it says here in the notes, center front of shield or left front of shield. Okay. But if you look at the code here, look at this number. Element 0 says X is 1. But if I look at Cursor, element 0 has an X of 99. This is wrong, right? This doesn't match what's here in the code. So it took me forever to figure that out because I had this script open and because Claude Code was making changes, my changes and Claude's changes were kind of overriding each other. So in Unity, I had to go in here, I had to go to the drone manager. There's 3 little buttons here in the script, and I said, reset. It's a little off screen. Let me see if I can boost this in a little bit. Okay. Yeah, now you should see it. So you see there's this little reset button. Now, once I reset this, boom, this X here goes to 99. It's finally reading the script up here. Now that, again, that little tiny thing honestly was hours of frustration. So what I was telling Claude back and forth, I was like, hey, I'm seeing these changes. In fact, I'm making changes up here to this. The changes aren't making any difference. Like if I make this change now and I save it, I turned it from 99 to 1 and I go back here, it's importing. Let's see what it does. I doubt it'll do it. So now it still says 99. Shield formation says 99. So it's not pulling in that change, which is super frustrating. So you can just go in here and click reset. But the problem is now I've reset my game object, my drone prefab, and my status text. So what I do is I'll go in here, I'll say, okay, obviously this is drone 2. I need to drop that back in, take my prefab, put it in there. The text is over here in, I think, canvas, my kill counter. Oops. Let's undo that, go back to drone manager, pop the kill counter in and put that in text. So anyways, super frustrating. You know, this might be something that somebody who's used Unity before in the past would have already known, like duh. But I'm relatively new to Unity. Like I said, I've been in the game industry for many years, but I've mostly been on the product or design side. So this is new to me, right? Anyhow, what I want to do now is let's move forward, okay? I want to take this to a new phase. And so we're going to tell Cursor to help us move along. So next thing, technical implementation. Okay, what do you think is the next best phase that we can work on in a small enough chunk to test and get started? Keep in mind, you'll need to guide me on the Unity changes as well. Now, I know it mentioned last time we might want to start changing the AI because as I was mentioning earlier, we set up this drone manager and we have, if you see here, we have a spawn manager, drone manager. I think we set up our own, I mean, the drones are ours, but I think we set up our own enemy manager. Maybe not. We have the spawn manager. We might have set this up. I think we set this up through Claude. I don't think this was native to Top-Down Engine, which is, I think, not good because Top-Down Engine already has an AI built in for enemies that we needed to leverage, right? Let's leverage the tools that's already there instead of building from scratch. So let's see what it says here. Okay, based on the current state, I recommend starting with phase 2, Cosmic Silicate and Resource Economy. Immediately testable. You see resources dropped and collect right away. Build on existing systems. Your enemy spawn drone systems are already in place. Won't break current functionality. Sets economic backbone. Okay, you know, I don't know. I don't know about this. Let's see. What I'm going to do actually, instead of using Whisper tool right now, I'm going to use GPT for sound. I would like to test something else instead. I think we built our own AI system for the enemies. The enemies kind of have these lanes and lane changes, and then they come straight at us and they just fly right by us. They fly right by us. They don't do anything. They don't shoot. What do you think we can do in leveraging top-down systems enemy AI? And should we adjust this part first and maybe make our player character in drones a little more resilient so we can kind of see what it's like to use top-down engines built-in AI? All right, so let's see if that might be better. Because I think last time I used Claude, that was one of its recommendations, is that it noticed that we built our own system when we didn't really need to build our own system. All All right, it says you're right. So some of the thought process in here is pretty cool. It tells you what it's thinking. The core combat loop needs work before adding resource. Absolutely, right? We want the combat to be fun. I've always told this to one of my designer friends too, or my developer friends. I said, let's make sure like the ship movement is fun. Let's make sure that the attacking is fun. Like get those really basic things to be fun and exciting. Otherwise, if you've got Mario and he can't even jump, if you don't have Kirby able to like swallow things and ingest them and become something else, like what game do you have? You don't have a game. One of my favorite games is Ori, right? Ori and the Will of the Wisps. There's a sequel too, I believe. But I love the combat in that game. I love the movement, the swirls, the things like that. That's kind of the hook of that game. All right, so they're going to examine the AI. AI systems components. Now I need to examine, okay. Let's see, possible event leak. Interesting. I don't know what this is. Search pattern, enemy.cs, lane.cs. Of course, I'm going to go up here and close these because they may make changes to those. Enemy CS, lane CS, task, find top-down engine AI. Okay, it looks like it might have found something. Okay, so it did its own research, whatever that means. Hopefully it added something to memory. It hopefully understands the current lane-based system. Let's see, it's going to replace the custom AI with top-down engine AI for enemy engagement, implement any projectile attacks using, okay, perfect. Increase player and drone health shields for testing. Now, I think I'm going to have to add those weapons to my enemies. I had to do that for the ships before, for my character ships and my drones. I somewhat remember how to do that. Again, repetition will really help you learn, especially if something you have to do multiple times in one game. And, but that's okay. We learned it before. Let's see, now I understand the complete situation. Let me update the to-do status. Current setup, okay. Moves forward, handles lane switching, enemy prefab, health, top-down engine, damage on touch. Yep, I think my health is also 10 HP, and like the enemy does one hit point or something. Okay, no AI brain to make decisions about targeting, stopping, or shooting. Complete the current. Okay, let's see what else. Thinking, I have a clear understanding. Your enemies are flying by because they use custom scripts. This would, okay. They have top-down health engine, no AI brain for decision making, no weapon shooting ability, no targeting. Absolutely, this sounds right. Convert to top-down engine AI. Make player drones more resilient for testing. Replace custom movement with top-down engine brain. Perfect. Add weapons. Configure AI states. Patrol, detect, chase, attack. That sounds pretty cool. It also sounds really complex, so I hope we can chunk this down. Implementation steps. Increase player drone health. Boost player ship health to 100. Increase drone health to 25. This lets us test engagement without dynasty. Add AI brain to enemy prefab. Remove simple enemy movement and lane switcher scripts, which I think, are they already in my enemy scripts? So I got damage on touch, got health, sphere, collider, simple enemy movement, lane switcher, enemy trail effect. All three of these, I think were created by Claude, okay? When I think we didn't need to. And that's what I mean by this week was kind of a disaster. Using AI can be a disaster if we lean on it too much. There's got to be a balance between learning and using it to bridge the gap. I think this week I was just so tired and exhausted. I was like, just do it all for me. And it didn't work. It became a disaster. I mean, it worked in some cases, right? Okay. Let's start. Ready to start? Let's start. Step by step. So I hope it doesn't give me too much to tackle here. I want to do some small things. Let's see what it does. Okay, increase player and drone health. I think I can do that. This is not that hard. If I go to character, let's see. Oh, there's an AI brain. Look at that character brain already. See top-down character orientation, movement, battle, pause, run, button activity, health. There it is. Initial health, 100. Oops. 100. That's what they said, right? Let's go back to Claude Cursor. Maximum health. That's fine. Okay, open ship prefab in Unity. Double click to open prefab mode, increase ship health. I think I don't need to open it up like I just did. Let's go down to health. Yep, I got 100. Next, 10 times more health. Increase drone health. Open the prefab for drone 1. Select drone 1. We've been using drone 2, and we're going to go to 50. So I will let them know that too. Drones for 50. Let's exit that one. Oops, didn't exit. Okay. Okay, it says repeat for drone 2. So let's just do it for both. I don't know which ones we're going to use. One thing I want to do actually, since this is drone 1, which is interesting, it has drone 2 inside here too. I don't know why. It had this shooting feedback that was just too much. So it has a flash. Let me show you what I mean real quick. So if I go to my drone manager and I say, hey, I want to replace drone 1 and the right here with drone 2 with drone 1, which was, if you remember my first video, we had 2 different 3D models that we set up. Shooting, everything was different. You'll see this drone come through and it's a different shoot. It's not even aligned right now, but you see the screen shakes and it's bright and it's just not great. So what I want to do is, because I don't want to just leave it in that current state, I want to go back to shoot feedback, get rid of flash, get rid of the impulse, get rid of the light, and I think that's enough. I know that there was also a weapon, which I think needed to be offset by 3. I think that's why it was not showing correctly. These are all 0. Model container, shoot feedback. Maybe not. I'll go back and change that. I don't want to leave something broken. Drone weapon. I put it at -3 offset. But where did it go? Maybe it was this position. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to use drone 2. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Let's go back to cursor. We did that first step. We did this third step, right? Drone 1, yep. Save changes. Okay. That actually was a good chunk of information. Okay, great. I saved it. I'm using drone 2 for the main drone manager and would prefer to use that one for this moving forward. That way it's just easier. Let's move to the next steps. Okay, so that chunk I think was very easy. What we can actually even do is test that chunk. We saved it. Now I should start probably with 100 health here. If you remember, yeah, before it was like red when I started, which makes sense that it was 10 of 100. But now when I'm getting hit by these guys, you can see it's coming down maybe like, I don't know, 1 or 2 at a time. Although I'm seeing that blast on me. Something's blasting me, you notice that? I don't know what it is. If I'm blasting myself or I'm just running into things, I think is what it is. I don't know, it's pretty wild. Okay, so cursor, where are we at here? Let's see what the next step is. Open enemy.prefab in Unity. Let me make sure this is step 2, perfect. Okay, replace the AI with the custom AI. Let's open this prefab. Double click to open. Remove custom movement scripts. Enemy object and inspector. Find these components and remove them. Simple enemy movement script. That was the one I was talking about. That was added, at least one of them, which is right here. So let's remove component. Next, add AI brain. With enemy game object selected, click add component, search for AI brain. AI brain, look at that, that's cool. Okay, next. AI brain, this is the core top-down engine AI controller, great. Configure AI brain settings, set frequency mode to update, set frequency to 60. Frequency mode to updates. I don't see frequency mode here. States? Is it state? Enemy state? No. Frequencies. Let's double check. Frequency to 60. I don't know if that's the right one. Actions frequency 60, decisions frequency 60. Leave target empty, and we'll set this via AI actions. Reset brain, brain active, reset brain on start. I don't see any states. Set frequency mode to update. Okay. That's all I see there. Set up AI states. In the AI brain component, expand states, set size to 2, patrol and attack. So maybe we need to do this. Patrol, actions, AI action. Let's see if there's any elements. I don't see any elements in here. Actions, none. Transitions, decision, choose state. Okay. That's okay. We're running into roadblocks. Set size to 2, state 0, patrol, patrol and attack. So state 0. Oops. Let's do another state because I think it wants us to have 2 states. And we're going to call this attack. Now we don't really have this set up in the way that they have asked us to, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to go to Cursor and I'm going to use ChatGPT to voice this. Okay, I've added the AI brain, but I don't see the states that you're talking about. I tried to add patrol and attack, but there's no drop-down menu for me to click on to add some of the things that you're talking about. I'm going to attach a screenshot for you so that you can guide me a little further along to find these things that you'd like me to update. Okay, so for Claude, you can't Command V to paste an image, but you can do Control V on a Mac, okay? And you'll see here it says image 1. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to paste this in here and we're going to see if it can help us along. Now, I think if we get this AI going, that would be pretty awesome to see these enemies do something a bit different. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I can see the AI brain is set up correctly. Now we need to add AI actions and decisions. Look at your screenshot. I can see the states are created, but we need to populate them with actions and decisions. Here's how. Add action. Click the plus button for actions under the patrol state. This will create element 0. Under the control, I have element 0 here. Let me zoom this over so I can read this at the same time. Get a little more space here. Okay, so I did this under actions. Yes, I have element 0. Click the circle to open the object picker. Search for AI action. There's nothing here. You know what I mean? There's nothing to search for. Maybe there's number of hidden packages. None. There's nothing here. So click the circle next to decision, search AI decision detection radius 2D and select it. Set true state to attack. For the attack state, try these steps and let me know what you see. Okay, so the selection is actually empty and I can't search for anything. Anything to find something like it doesn't exist. Do I need to import it or move it from somewhere inside top-down engine? So again, really easy to just try to communicate with the AI. Hopefully it'll give you more context. It can usually go in and find that documentation. If not, you can search for top-down engine documentation and you'll run into some of this here. So contents, we may be able to see. So there's demos, common, how to install, general, respawn collisions. There's probably like an AI, multiplayer, managers, game manager. Let's see what this says. Okay, top-down engine components need to be available in your project. They're in the project. The issue is that you may not recognize them in the object picker. Let's fix this by adding the AI components directly as scripts rather than through the object picker. Okay, let's give it a try. With the AI action set player as target to the patrol state. With the AI enemy prefab open, Select the enemy game object, click add component. AI decision. I don't see it. Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. AI decision. The first one actually is AI action set player as target. Okay, cool. Yeah, these are all separate components. Maybe that's a problem. AI decision detect target radius. I think it needs to be 3D though. I'm going to choose 3D. It said 2D. And then what's the next one? AI action move toward target 3D. And then AI action shoot 3D. Next, connect components to AI brain. Okay, so let's go back to AI brain. That seems like it makes a lot more sense. Look at this. Okay, now we have, okay, great. For all components are added, go to back for patrol actions element 0, drag the AI action set player as target. So this AI action set, there you go. Okay, so we get these drop down. That makes a lot of sense now. For patrol action element, drag the AI action set player as target component from the inspector. Let's read that again. For patrol actions, there we go. AI action set player as target. For patrol actions, for patrol transition decision, drag AI decision detect. There it is. For attack action elements, this is transitions. Okay, let's double check here. Patrol action elements, we did that. Patrol transitions, okay. Attack actions, element 0. This is AI actions. Is that right? AI action set player's target. AI action move towards target 3D. Okay, so we did that wrong. For attack actions element 1, so I need another attack actions. AI action shoot 3D component. Okay. Interesting. So move towards it and shoot. Try adding these components as scripts first once they're in. Okay, great. I don't think we did enough here, but what I can do again, let's take a screenshot. So if you don't know, I'm pressing Command, Control, Shift, and 4. And I'm going to say, take a look at that. Also, I can even give it all of these scripts so we can see the whole thing. Let's Control V, remember? Let's get over to Cursor so that, chat, so I can get another chat in here. Okay, it looks like I got most of this in. Verify it for me. I don't see anything in my patrol states for transitions. Should I be adding something there? Double check the screenshot I added to see if I implemented this correctly. All right, let's flip on over here. Try adding scripts once they're in the game, you can try drag them into AI brain slots. Okay, so we did that. We did everything it asked us to do. We're pretty close to being able to test the new enemy. I'm really curious how well it will work. I know that if you go into the prefabs here, let me expand this a bit, and you open up ship, which is the player. I have the player tagged up here. They are the player layer. They are the tag as a player. And the enemy obviously is tagged as enemy, and it's an enemy's layer. So I'm hoping that that will be enough, since this enemy action is set player as target, right? AI action move towards target, and then AI action shoot target in 3D. I think, and that makes sense to me, right? So they're patrolling and they're attacking. Excellent work. You've got most of it correct. I can see the issue. You're missing the decision component for the patrol state. I need to configure the true false state. So the decision looks like right here. Add decision to patrol states. In the patrol state transition section, I can see decision shows none. You need to drag AI decision detect target radius 3D. There it is. This will make the patrol state able to detect when the player is nearby. For patrol states, set true state to attack, true state to attack, and false state to patrol. All right. For patrol transitions, set true state to attack. Where's the transitions? Oh, these are the transitions. I see. For patrol true. Oh, so this needs to be patrol and this needs to be attack. So then the transitions down here under attack, true state needs to be attack, false state needs to be patrol. Attack, yes, okay. This makes sense. Configure AI decision settings. Click on the AI decision detection target radius 3D component. All right. Set target layer mask to player. Right? Remember we said I set the ship as the player and the enemies as the enemies. Well, why didn't that save for me? Player. Okay. All right. Set radius to 10. And add weapon component. For the AI shoot action 3D to work, you'll need a weapon component on the enemy. Click add component, search for projectile weapon. Okay. Projectile. This is exciting. Projectile weapon. I think I'll need to add it to the 3D models. Okay, I added all of those. I added projectile weapon as well. I imagine I'll need to actually add a weapon from top down engine and a proper projectile to the enemy. Let me know the next steps. So we're making some progress. Let's hit save here just to save our progress while this goes. You guys think we should try it? Should we give it a try? I don't think it's going to shoot at us, but I'm really curious what it's going to do here. So let's try. Why not? While Claude is thinking for us, let's give it a play. Oh, we're broken. Let's see what happens. It's probably the weapon. Action shoot update. AI action shoot 3D. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Yeah, we can't play until we actually get a weapon, I think. Let's go back to enemy. Can't shoot if you don't have anything to shoot. Okay, let's take a look and see. Perfect, I see. Transition, we already did that. Didn't we? Fixed state transitions critical. Patrol transition, you have true state of patrol and false state attack. Do I? I don't think I did. I think I fixed that. Attack, true is attack. Right, I fixed that. Okay, I don't know why it's saying that. That's not true. Let's see, I fixed that. Now for the weapon setup. Create enemy projectile. Find an existing projectile to copy. Drone projectile. Right-click on the prefabs folder, duplicate one of your existing. Okay, I mean, I guess we can. Let's duplicate. We use Gigawatt, Guardian, Gigawatt. Let's use the drone projectile that we don't use. So we right-clicked on it. Am I in the right place? There's no duplicate. Look for existing player projectiles in assets, space shooter prefabs. We can see a drone projectile. Okay. Create and right click in the prefabs folder, duplicate. Okay. I don't understand this. Create. I mean, can I just copy and paste? Like, where is top down engine? See if there's something in here we can just duplicate, right? No. It's weird that it tells me to duplicate. Right click in the prefabs folder, duplicate one of your existing projectiles. I think maybe let's just do this. Okay, yep. Now let's rename it. Drone projectile 1. let us VLAN Finder. I don't know. It's not going to let us name this, so let's rename it over here. Let's call it enemy projectile. I may need to edit the meta too. Okay, let's see what that does here. Enemy projectile. Okay, it looks good. Now, enemy projectile.prefab. Change its visual color material to red, orange to distinguish from player projectiles. Let's figure out how to do that. We got the projectile, pullable object, box collider, rigid body. I think I actually need to go to, this is the projectile, sparks, bullet impact, bullet particles, particle system, start color. We want this to be more red. Yes, rename it. Oops, what happened here? Okay. Lighting on, bullet material. I wonder if I need a new bullet material, if this is going to affect the other ones. I bet it is. That's okay. We'll see what happens. Make sure it targets the player layer instead of enemy layer. Rename it to enemy. Change its visual color. Okay, make sure it targets player layer. So let's go back to drone projectile. Wait a sec. Prefabs. Oh, see, it renamed it back. I need to rename this, guys. Tag. Why can't I rename this? Rename. Enemy projectile. That must have been the right way to do it. Okay. Now it says, make sure it targets the player layer, layer 10 instead of enemy layer. Enemy projectile. The projectile here, events, bounds based on material, box collider, see pusher, should be damage on touch, player. This is what we want. So not enemies. Actually, we want nothing, and then we just want player. Okay, that's the target. Okay, configure projectile. In your enemy prefab, find the projectile weapon component, set the projectile field to your new enemy. Okay, let's go back to enemy here. Enemy, find the, let me double check. Projectile weapon. So I should have that in the enemy. I should. At the bottom here. There it is. Now there should be, is it use transformation? New enemy, find the projectile weapon, set the projectile field. Let's see, where's projectiles? There it is, projectiles. Object pooler, which is the enemy projectile. Let's drag that in there. That's not going to let us do it. This is projectiles, spawn transformation, spread. Maybe I need object pooler in here. Okay, let me double check. Do I have an object pooler? Pullable object. This might be the one that, actually that's going to be on the weapon itself. So let's go to enemy projectile. It's here. Why don't I see it? Pullable object. Collider. Okay, we're going to have to ask here because I think I'm missing something. Prevent pass through. Nope. Pullable object. I should be able to add my projectile in the weapon. Where's enemy weapon? That's what I need. I have enemy with the enemy projectile. projectile weapon. Okay, I think there's something wrong here. In the enemy prefab, find the projectile weapon component, right? That's why I'm not opening the enemy prefab. Okay, yes. Now, projectile field to your enemy projectile prefab. I mean, I don't need a weapon use. I need projectiles. This is where I was. Object pooler, enemy projectile. Why can't I add this? I'm gonna take a whole screenshot here. Let's change the other ones first. Set the projectile field to your new. Okay. Set time between uses to 1.5. Projectile spawn offset. I think because I don't have the weapon. This is the projectile weapon. Burst mode. Burst length. Time between uses. There it is. 1.5. Spawn position. Z1. All right. Z1. Okay, now we need to tell it that there is no place. Let's do ChatGPT to answer this. There was no place to add the enemy projectile in the projectile weapon component when I tried to drag it in to the field that says projectiles, and it says object pooler. It says none object pooler. I couldn't add the projectiles there. I just couldn't drag it in. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to add these projectiles. I think that's the last step. Okay, now we did take a screenshot. I'm going to go back to Cursor. I want to pop that screenshot in, and then let's copy and paste this, and let's paste that in and see if we can get some more details, because that's confusing, right? Find the projectile weapon. If we go back to ship, I remember doing this, and if we go to handle, character handle weapon, we have guardian weapon, projectile weapon. I think that's the problem, is we never set an actual weapon. We have an enemy and we have an enemy shooting, but we don't have an enemy shooting with a weapon. And then if I go over here to the ship, you'll see the ship also has its own weapon. And then if I scroll up, let's see if it has projectile. It says guardian weapon as the object pooler. And then it also, the weapon itself has an object pooler with guardian projectile. That's what I was looking for that I couldn't find. And so I feel like we're doing this wrong. Okay. Yep, object pooler. Set an object pooler for the enemy projectiles. I don't know if this is the right thing to do either. Let's try it though. Sometimes you might have to trust your intuition, right? But let's go in here. Let's say object pooler. We're going to do, I think, simple. Let's see. Enemy projectile. Okay, create object pooler. Let's see. First, set an object pooler for enemy projectiles. Create object pooler, game object. Okay. Let me make sure. And once it's created an empty, add the pooler to the empty. Click add component, search for object pooler, add it, configure the object pooler, set game object to pool to your enemy projectile prefab, set pool size, connect pooler to weapon. Okay, I think I'm just going to create it inside of the enemy prefab here, because I think that's kind of what it expects us to do, right? So let's do create empty. Let's call it enemy object pooler. We're going to add the I think it's simple object pooler. There it is, game object to pool, enemy projectile, right? Configure the object pooler. Pool size to 20, that's fine. Pool can expand, sure. Enemy projectile. Set pool name to enemy projectile. I don't see pool name unless this is it. Enemy projectile. Connect pooler weapon, go to your enemy prefab. In the projectile weapon component, this is exactly what I would have done, I think, to begin with. Okay. Okay, I think we've done quite a bit for that. Let's give it a try. We've done enough here without really testing and seeing what works. Probably should have saved it, and we might still have errors. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like we still have errors. So let me go to the console, let me clear it, and let me get fresh errors so that I can communicate those properly. Yeah, look at that. Null object reference. Okay, let's go back. We're getting an error. All right, let's see if this helps us through. The goal here is to get to a state where we've done something fun and interesting. We've had AI kind of help us through this. I think it has done a good job of guiding us. It's probably looking at the documentation. If we read through the documentation and if we've learned what we have learned in the past, maybe we could have got this a little sooner, but it is kind of helping us. It's a person there that's kind of guiding us through, right? Let's see. Errors line 87. Current weapon is null. Character handle weapon component. In your enemy prefab, character handle weapon. Yep, this is one thing I thought. So let's go all the way down. Add components, character handle weapon. Okay, now initial weapon. Do I need one? And then set initial weapon to your projectile weapon component. I think that was, honestly, it's not the object pooler. I have enemy projectile. All right, set weapon attachment. See, I don't think this is the way that. Okay, weapon use feedback. Weapon attachment to the enemy transform. All right. Link AI action 3D in the AI action 3D component. I don't even see that unless it's up here. AI action shoot 3D. Set target handle weapon ability to character handle weapon component you just added. How can I do that? So target handle weapon component. Let's read that again. The character handle weapon ability. This AI action should pilot. If left blank, the system will grab the first one it finds. Initial weapon. Okay, I think we need to tell AI something. Character and character handle weapons. Okay, we did the character and character handle weapons, but if you remember, we only created an enemy projectile, and then we created the enemy projectile empty that handles the pooler. We never really created an enemy weapon, which you're asking me to add here. Let's see if this wakes up Claude a little bit to go back into its memory and see. I don't think we made that mistake. I think it was Claude's mistake. Okay, yep, it wants the enemy weapon. You're right. I knew I was right. It's always going to tell me I'm right anyway. It's trying to please me. Okay, in the scene hierarchy, right-click empty. Let's do it right here. Create empty enemy weapon. Add projectile weapon. All right. Select enemy weapon game object. Click add component. Okay. Time between uses was 1.5. Object pooler is the enemy projectile. It's not gonna let me do that unless I need to make a new one. Okay. Enemy projectile pooler. This is what it is. Okay. Make it a prefab object. Enemy weapon. Make it a prefab. Okay. Connect to the character handle weapon. So let's go to enemy and character handle weapon. Enemy weapon. Okay. Maybe we finally got this hooked up. Go back to enemy and the character handle weapon component. Okay. Remove duplicate projectile weapon. Remove the projectile weapon from the enemy game object. I think this one has the projectile weapon right here, which we don't want. Remove. Because it's already on handle weapon. Now I think we can leave that prefab in the enemy component. I'm going to try. Okay, let's see what happens here. I think we got everything. Let's clear the console because we may get another error first, right? Let's open this up and pray that we got something going on. Okay, we got an error. Let's highlight this. Let's pause it, go back here. Okay, I did all that. Now we have an error. We're close. I'm excited to see this AI enemy movement work. I hope you are too, and just know, I mean, this is how you can get stuff done. You can learn, you can have fun. I'm learning some of the ins and outs of Unity, but I'm also having fun doing it. I'm not just following a tutorial, but I'm learning by making mistakes and a little bit of, obviously, Claude working with me to get this done. So let's take a look. We have two issues. The missing animator. The character handle weapon is trying to bind an animator. It doesn't exist. AI action shoot missing reference. Okay. In the enemy prefab, find the character handle weapon components. Right? Here it is. Let's give a little more space so we can see. Set automatically bind animator to false. Which is right here. Can pick up weapons. False. Okay. This prevents a null reference for the missing animator. Fix AI action shoot 3D reference and AI action shoot 3D. Where in the world is that? AI action right here. Okay. Set target handle weapon ability to character handle weapon component. Drag from the inspector. This one? Really? I never knew you could do that. I didn't know you could drag this script straight into there. That's great. Okay. Add missing character movement optional. For the proper top-down engine setup, add character movement component. Where am I adding that? This helps with AI movement and character systems. I think I'm adding it to enemy here. I thought it would have this movement. Okay. Character movement. After this, let's play the game. It says so. Let's give it another go. Here we go. Let's clear the console again. And let's see it happen. Oh, we got another error. I think it's a similar error. Common scripts bind animator. So it's that same animator error. Try the animator fix first. That should resolve the main error. Still seeing the animator error. Let's go back and see. Maybe we didn't save this. Maybe we need to exit the enemy. Let's clear and try again while Claude kind of works behind the scenes. No, it's the same thing. Okay, so let's go there. Character component is still trying to bind an animator automatically. It's not the character component. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the enemy character. So let's go back to shoot 3D, character, handle weapon. Enemy weapon can pick up, weapon use, weapon attachment, projectile. Automatically bind animator. No, we don't want a bind animator. Let's see here. The issue is the character component is trying to assign animator, but there isn't one. Let's fix configure in the character. Configure in your enemy prefab, find the character component, set use default mechanism. Character movement. Configure. I don't even know where that is. Let's see. We've got AI in the enemy component. Find the character. There is no character component. Maybe that's what we're missing. All right. Animator none. Use default mechanism to false. Okay. Set character animator to none. Right? Set run animator sanity checks to false. Right? Set character reference. Okay. We gave it no animator. It didn't have a character before. Again, here we go. Ah, we're still getting something here. This is something different. This is something different. Okay, we didn't even have character component on the enemy, but that seems to have done the trick. Now I have a new error. All right, we put that new error in. Let's pause this and see what we can get out of it. Character movement check just got grounded. I bet that's a issue here. Walk speed should set. Movement is free. Let's see what we're being told to do here. Movement. Character movement, set movement to flying. Where is that? There's no flying. Direction. I mean, the direction, it could be anywhere. There's no flying. It's free movement. I mean, it really should be vertical. I guess it should be strict 4 directions. I don't know. Remove character movement simpler since your enemy uses it. Okay, yeah, let's just kill it. I agree with that. All right, let's see. I mean, moving, it's very interesting because we're not going to move it. The AI is supposed to move it. I probably should exit that prefab, but let's see what happens here. Okay, look, we've made some progress. Okay, we're in. Let's see what actually happens here. I'm not sure that I see much of a difference. I think part of the problem is that we might still be... This doesn't look like much of a difference to me. One thing that that I don't like is somehow my ship still has the original drone. I want it to be drone 2. So, oops. Gigawatt. Weapon. I'm sorry. I have to go to... What do I have to go to here? Spawn manager. Drone manager has drone 1. Should have drone 2. Okay. So let's consider this. Okay, the game is working, but the spawn of the enemies and the movement and lane changes, etc., seems exactly the same before all of this. Did we remove those components or scripts? I still have a drone manager, V2, etc. So I think we need to do a little bit of cleanup here. What is this? Okay, so it's checking some of our enemy prefabs. What does it want to do here? It wants to look at something for the scripts. You can actually tell it to look on its own without you having to agree. All right. Fix old removement. Open enemy prefab, remove these components. Let's see. Lane switcher. Okay. Yes, let's remove it. And simple enemy movement script. I moved that. Enemy trail, simple explosion, enemy effects. We moved all those. Character. Simple explosion, enemy trail. Make sure I'm not missing that. In Unity, remove, also check for simple enemy remove if present. Okay. They should stop doing the lane change. It is to detect the player and chase and shoot. Airbrain should take control of the movement. Let's see if this is true. I'm not convinced because, was the lane changer taking over? I don't think so. I think really it just wasn't really working like it should have. I don't even see any enemies spawning, right? Am I killing some drones? Look, I'm killing some drones way up there somehow. There's nothing up there to hit. Every time I hit, I kill a drone. Okay, so let's... Okay, now I see no enemies at all. Okay. Yeah, they might be right. It could be being destroyed immediately, although I wasn't shooting too much. Spawner's still trying to configure the old lane switcher component, but we removed it. Okay. Make the edit to the enemy spawner. The spawner should now spawn enemies at lane positions. Try not to configure the removed. Okay. Enemy spawn in lanes. They start in patrol state, doing nothing initially. Okay, but the player only moves horizontally. I won't move toward them. I don't know if this could have been handled better with more context. Okay. The issues are trying to use AI action move toward target 2D, but your game is in 3D space. No, I did use 3D. I actually fixed that beforehand. It's all 3D. But my ship expects enemies to move toward it. And my ship only moves horizontally. So I won't get near the enemies if they don't come near me. Okay. Okay, enemies stay on the spawn lanes, only move horizontally. Okay. Enemies are detecting the player, but only moving horizontally. Check enemy detection range. Let's see. I mean, we did make a change. I doubt we're going to see the enemies come at us. Let's take a look. I'm seeing the enemies spawn here on the left, but they're just not moving toward us. They probably are off screen. Let's zoom out and see, actually. Look at that. There's a bunch of enemies right here off screen, and I can't get them. You know, one interesting thing that we can do is let's go into ship. Let's do character movement, and let's change this from 2 directions to 4 directions. Let's see if we can move toward the ship. Oh, see, now they're coming at us. Or we're coming at them. I don't know. Yeah, they're not... mean, that's like the end. That's the end of the rope. I mean, that could be the problem too, is that like there is a blocker in this scene over here. I'm just not really sure. Okay, we can try again. Configure movement to come forward. Add forward movement to patrol state. Let's do this. Let's go back to GPT. Try one more thing. Okay, so I did look at the play scene. I do see the enemies are appearing just outside of the field of view. I did turn on 4-directional movement for my ship, and I moved closer to the enemies. I see that they're there. They do not move or shoot or do anything when I come within range, even when I'm right on top of them. I can't go past them, though. I wonder if it's because there is a blocker in the scene. So I'm going to use or move that blocker further away and see if I can get it to work. Let me know what you think. Maybe we should do that first. This might be the last thing I try here. Let me pop that in, and I'll show you here if I go to the scene area and I go to the level, I have the borders, left border, right border. Let's zoom out a little bit. Game object there. So that's left and right. You can kind of see if I pan around here, I've got this border, this green border here. I've got one there. So I want to maybe just move that back. I don't know which one that is, but we're going to move both of them back. Okay. Let's go to the game. I don't think this is going to help us much, but maybe, let's see. No, they are doing nothing. I mean, yeah, they're damaging me, but they don't do anything useful here, right? I mean, it's kind of cool that the camera's following me, but it's just not useful, right? It's only following me a little bit. And the screenshot might help. Let's put that in here. For me, this is going to be the last step here to see if we can get this going. You can imagine this has been kind of my frustration during the week of like, why is the things you're helping me with not working? And maybe this is just the part of game development. This is the part of learning. This is the part of trying to figure something out and just running into roadblocks. And AI also runs into roadblocks. And maybe it's the complexity of Unity and top-down engine. And, you know, as you add more and more complexity to something, it gets more and more difficult to understand the true problem. Okay. AI isn't responding. I want to check if brain is active. Open the enemy prefab. All right. Let's pause this first. We don't need that open. It's probably spawning a million enemies right now. Let's zoom out here. Enemy prefab open. Let's go to AI brain. AI brain is definitely active. Check set the initial state to patrol. Enemy AI action player, set player as target. Patrol. State of patrol index 0. Yeah. Fix target layer mask in AI decision detection radius 3D. Set target layer mask to layer player. That is correct. Currently it might be set. No, it's obstacle mask. That's fine. Verify state trend in AI brain. Check patrol state transitions. When decision true, should go attack state. Well, yeah, decision enemy AI decision target decision. Should this be player? Check patrol state transitions. When decision equal true, should go to attack. But this is down here. AI action move towards target. And shoot. Move towards target and shoot. And the target. I'm the target, right? Set player as target. Target layer mask player. I mean, okay. Test add debug and see if check quick test open enemy prefab. Check AI decision detection target radius 3D. Layer S includes layer 10 player. Yes, that's here. Let's do 20. Yeah, I mean, this is as good as it gets here, buddy. It's all in there. It's all in there, buddy. Claude. Let's give it another go. Where are they at here? Can I make them so that there's none left? Oh yeah, they're still spawning, so you can see that. If we get close enough, they don't do anything though. Even if I'm right on top of them, they don't do anything. So there's like not a movement set or something. I don't really know. Enemy movement? Action, move towards target. Like, it should be doing something. Oh, Claude knows the issue. Here we go, guys. Looks correct. The issue might be the AI needs a target to work with. Let's check AI brain target. Okay. Is there a debug section? Enemy weapon is attached to this projectile weapon. No object pooler. Really? Pooler? Is this really the problem? I don't believe that this is the problem. Enemy projectile. And just enemy weapon has a pooler now. Is this really the problem? We'll see if it shoots at us. I'm not convinced it's going to. Nope. Not doing it. Let's clear it and play again. See if we can get some console that can actually help us. Yeah, it still says the same thing. Enemy weapon. No object pooler. Simple or multiple. Let's just like delete this out. Enemy weapon. Object pooler. Enemy projectile. Let's just, I don't know, let's delete this too. Enemy weapon has that. Let's see if we did that right. We're coming. Nothing. Does it still have problems here? Drone formation offset. Let's clear this. I don't think. Okay. Okay. This is just not working. And that, my friends, is the great example of the week that I've had trying to use code to help me with AI. Now, I will grantedly tell you that most of this is my fault, right? I'm using AI to help me bridge the gap. I probably should dive deeper into Top-Down Engine's documentation, into Unity's documentation, but I'm new to this and I'm trying to figure out how to bridge the gap. Now, I have learned a lot of Unity. I have learned a lot about prefabs, a lot about importing things, a lot about adjusting components inside of those prefabs. I don't see this as wasted time. You know, maybe this is a dozen hours for the week of me digging in. Definitely not wasted time. I think it is helping me in my learning, but I think I can do a better job of using AI to help me. Maybe it can help me learn the documentation better. Maybe I can pull the documentation into these markdown files and have it reference the documentation. Maybe I can learn more of that, learn more of Unity, and then just have AI kind of help me with some of the scripting. I don't know yet, but this week was frustrating. And so that's me learning. Listen, I hope that you don't get as frustrated as I do, or if you do, you come out at the end of it learning something. I feel like I'm going to have to dig into this for another hour or two and figure out why the AI isn't working. I will let you know. Stay connected to my videos, my shorts, my long form. If I figure it out, I'll post a video for you and tell you what I did to get it working. I'd love to see the AI drones coming at me and shooting at me and all those things. That would make it obviously more interesting and more fun. But until then, you know, let's see what happens next time. So thank you for being with me. If you stayed this long, please like and subscribe if you want to see me explore more of these situations. Until then, thank you very much. See you next time.